Here's a quick overview of what we'll cover. For those of you who need to get online, there's a 10 to 15 minute segment on how to do that. So it involves acquiring your own .com domain name and also acquiring web hosting, which are two absolute essentials when it comes to setting up a website. There are two things you can't do without. Now, if you already have that covered, skip that section and go to set up a website. Just look in the description below and you'll see the link that you need to click on to jump directly to that setup website section if that's you. So here's an overview of what we need to cover. Setting up and running this website will cost about $10 a month, as opposed to paying web developers more than $5,000 or $6,000 to set everything up for you and design a website from scratch. And you probably wouldn't even get the same result you're getting here even with that much money. So don't underestimate the value that you get with WordPress and that you get with this Avada design that I'll show you. It's absolutely amazing and allows you to do some amazing things. The first thing that I'll ask you to do is click on the link in the description below that will take you to domain and hosting. There's a link there. Click on that. Okay, now this is the page you'll land on. It's the HostGator website, and I've been using this company for nearly 10 years for all of my websites, including e-commerce stores, business websites, and also blogs. So I'm going to be using my HostGator account for the rest of the tutorial. So if you want to follow along step by step, then I'd recommend you sign up with HostGator as well. But having said that, you're free to sign up with any other host you want, but just be careful because you might not be able to follow everything that I do step by step. So I really recommend these guys. They've got fantastic 24/7 support over a toll-free number or live chat. And if you've used a link in the description below to get to this site, you'll automatically get the best price possible and you'll see that discount. But if not, I'll show you how to get a better discount in the next screen. There are two types of hosting offers available: web hosting and WordPress hosting. I use normal web hosting and it's also the cheaper option. I know we're going to be installing and operating a WordPress site, but that doesn't mean you need WordPress hosting. But if you really want that, you can go and read about that in your own time. It is more expensive. All we need is regular web hosting. So I'll click on that. Let's go down to choose a plan. There are three available. The one you are probably going to use is the cheapest one here, the Hatchling plan. It allows you to host one website. If you have more than one website down the track, you can always upgrade to a baby plan, which allows unlimited websites. And the business plan you just don't need. There's stuff in there that's pretty much irrelevant for most of you. So just click on the sign up for the Hatchling plan, which is the cheapest as well, so that's good. In this field here, register a new domain. So your new domain that you want to own. If you already have one from elsewhere, just enter that domain in this field. And also keep in mind that you'll need to point your domain to your hosting after you do this. That can be done by going to your domain account and changing something called the domain name server. Otherwise your site won't load. But for the rest of you, you'll probably need to register a brand new domain. This will be your .com domain that you want to own. For the purposes of this demo, I might register something called cafethemedemos.com. And when I say .com, that's a personal preference that I have. I've seen plenty of websites that use .net, .biz, .info. Look, it really does not matter for the rest of the tutorial which one you choose. It's exactly the same steps regardless of which one of these extensions you choose. But for me, I'll be choosing a .com. Okay, so that will automatically check if your chosen domain is available and then add it to your shopping cart. So then scroll down. Billing cycle. Let me just show you a couple of things. I'll show you how to get a better discount. If you want to sign up for just 1 month and try things out and set up your website and then continue with low risk, then I'll show you a really cool coupon to use in a sec. For now, let's enter a username and a PIN and just skip all this for the time being. Go to additional services and deselect anything that pops up, because to be honest, you don't need these. They're not absolutely essential. I don't use them myself, so there's no reason you need to either. And then go down, you'll see a section for a coupon code. Firstly, just take note of the amount due. Now, if you're signing up for 1 month, use a coupon called 1 dirty cent. Then hit the validate button. And you'll notice that the amount due is less, and you'll get the first month for just 1 cent. Alternatively, if you want to subscribe for more than a month, and just like anything else, the longer you subscribe for, the cheaper it gets. I typically sign up for 12 months. So if I click on that and then go back down, then use a coupon called eMedia Coach. Check the amount due. Just click validate, and you'll always see that the amount due is now lower than it previously was. So do take advantage of those coupons, depending on which time frame you want to subscribe for. Now, once you've done that, just go back up, and all you need to do is fill in your billing details and then process your order via credit card or PayPal. Make sure your email address here is accurate, because HostGator will be sending you an email with all of your details, and I'll show you what to do with that in the next step. So I'll just blur my screen here while I fill in all of my personal details. I'll just sign up via credit card. Okay, once all of that's done, just scroll down. You'll see a checkbox at the bottom just asking you to agree to the terms and conditions. It's all generic stuff. And then click checkout, and I'll show you what to do in the next step. And basically this is all you need to do to secure your domain and your web hosting, which are the two essentials to running your website. I may receive credits from HostGator from time to time, and that basically helps me cover the costs of making these tutorials, so I really do appreciate your support. Click checkout, and I'll show you the next screen. You should receive an email from HostGator in the next 5 minutes. You should get something like this from HostGator about 5 to 10 minutes after you complete your order, and it has your details such as your username, the domain which you registered, and the password. And this username and password relate to this control panel link over here. I'll show you that in just a second, but before I do that, there are two important bits of information here. If you purchased your domain from somewhere other than HostGator, and they are your name servers. So say for example you purchased your domain at GoDaddy or Namecheap, all you need to do is log into your domain account and update these name servers so that your domain knows to point to this particular hosting account that you've purchased. But for the rest of you who've purchased your domain from HostGator as well, that doesn't matter. So the next step to do is basically log into your control panel using the username and password given in this email. So I'll just open this up in a new window and then just copy and paste the username and password. Just make sure there are no spaces before and after, and then log in. This is called your cPanel, your hosting cPanel. What we need to do now is install WordPress. If you just go down the page, you should see a section called Quick Install. So click on that. WordPress should be displayed either in the sidebar or in a panel over here. So if you head to that section, you'll see a few paid options which you don't need. Don't worry about that. All we need to do is install the free version of WordPress. So yep, install WordPress for free. Let's click on that. This area here should pre-populate with your domain. If it doesn't do that, just select your domain from the drop down below, and that probably means that you have a hosting account with multiple domains. So don't forget to add that domain as an add-on domain in your cPanel. Then you'll be able to select it from this field here if it doesn't already exist. Leave this field empty. Choose an admin email and something that you can easily access, because you may receive information or updates from WordPress. Give your website a title, which is probably your business name. For admin user, this is your admin username. And then go down and install WordPress. You'll see up the top there'll be a bar to show the status of your installation. Cool. So WordPress has been installed, and the URL for your WordPress dashboard, and this is a very important URL, it's your website /wp-admin. So if you just right click that and open that in a new window, it actually takes maybe up to 20 minutes, half an hour for this to become active when you install it for the first time. So if it doesn't load up for you straight away, just be patient and refresh this page after about 20 minutes or half an hour. Clear your website cache, and then it should load up. So I'm going to wait here and then come back in a little bit. Okay, let's try that again by refreshing the page. Okay, cool, it's working now. It took for me about 20 minutes for that to activate, so it may take longer for you. If it doesn't work, just get in touch with me via emediacoach.com/HELP for help. So if you load that page up, you'll see it in just a sec. There is a form where you can fill out and submit, and it will come straight to my staff where we can help you out. Otherwise, there is a troubleshooting FAQs, and you might be able to find the answer you need here. So maybe to connect, maybe you bought your domain somewhere else, and it may be to connect your domain and hosting. Have a look at this page, or get in touch with me if your website still doesn't load, if you can't see this page within about half an hour. Okay, so in this field here, just enter the username and password given to you when you installed WordPress. So I'll just copy and paste mine in. If you're getting a page that isn't redirecting after that, just hold down Control and F5, and that will give your site a hard refresh. So as you can see, there is stuff on your domain already. So now let me just go back and access our admin control panel, WP-admin, and just try log in again. Should work this time. There we go. This is known as your WordPress control panel, and it's the screen that you'll be using to manage your entire restaurant or cafe website. If you haven't been able to get to this step, just get in touch with me at emediacoach.com/help, and we'll be able to get you up and running pretty quickly. The very first thing I recommend you do when you log in is change your password, because you're never going to be able to remember this one here. So to do that, if you go down to the users area and click on the all users link, click on your username, and then if you scroll down, you should be able to see an area to generate a new password. You can use a strong password like the suggestion they give you, or just enter any other password you like and then just tick this box to confirm. Then click on the update profile button. And now that login replaces this password here. So please do write that information down. Your WordPress control panel URL, your site /wp-admin, your username, and your new password. Write those three pieces of information down because they're really, really handy. Next, I'd like you to go and delete any default plugins that have been installed with your installation of WordPress. So if you go to the plugins area and then click on install plugins, you'll see that there are a few plugins here which are there as default. Just check this checkbox over here. It will actually select everything in the list. And then click on bulk actions, deactivate, and apply. We want to deactivate all of them first. And now do the same, and I want you to delete all of them. To be honest, we don't need them, and they just take up unnecessary space, and it's a bit of clutter. So yep, delete these files and data. Okay, good stuff. Next, we want to install the awesome WordPress theme, the Avada WordPress theme that we'll be using as the design for our cafe and restaurant website. So if you go to your URL at the moment, you'll see that it looks something like this, something very plain. What we want to do is acquire the design that will replace the entire look and feel and manage the whole design aspect of your new website. So to do that, just look in the description below and you'll see a link to a design theme, and it's a theme forest link. Just click on that. It should take you to this page here, the Avada responsive, which means mobile friendly, multi-purpose theme. You can read all about it if you want to. Basically, all you need to do is add that to your shopping cart. It's at $59, which is absolutely nothing compared to the thousands of bucks that you'll be paying to your web developers if you got them to make something as awesome as this particular theme here. So you can go to checkout, and it's pretty straightforward. Once you go to checkout, it will ask you to sign up for an account with Envato, and you can pay with credit card and PayPal, I believe. So I've already bought this, so I won't show you the process to do that. It should be pretty straightforward. Just follow it all the way through. Once you do that, I'll just log in with my Envato account. It'll reload with this screen here. And if you go to your account, just hover over that, go to downloads, and you'll see the Avada theme ready for download in this area over here. So click on the download button. What you'll see is the option to download a multiple different types of files. You can download all files and documentation, which gives you the entire package and all the documentation associated with it. Otherwise, you can install or download the installable WordPress file only. So what I'm going to do here now is just download this installable WordPress file. So save that somewhere on your computer where you can access very easily. I'll save on my desktop. Okay, so once that's downloaded, I can actually close this now. Back into your WordPress dashboard. In Appearance, click on Themes, and then click on Add New, Upload, and Browse. So now just find that file that you downloaded. It's the installable theme file. Just double click on that and click on Install Now. And this installation actually uploads that whole file to your WordPress installation. So it might take up to about 5 minutes or maybe more. So I won't actually cut this out of my video. I'll show how long it's taking for me as well. So you know that this actually takes a while. But be patient and you'll see what to do next. There we go. When that's all done, you'll see a link for activate. So activate the theme. And that's all done. So if you visit your web page now, this is pretty much what it will look like. So as you can see, we've acquired the design and we've installed and activated that. Next, I'm going to show you something that's really cool, and that is going to make your life very easy setting up this website. And we're going to import a bunch of demo content automatically. I'll show you that now. Okay, now we'll be importing some demo content which will really help you set up the site very, very quickly. I'll show you exactly what to do, so just follow everything that I do. I'll go through it very slowly so we get this right. It's important to get this step right. Back into your dashboard area, if you go to plugins, Avada, under the Avada tab, go to plugins. You'll see here there are a bunch of different plugins and they're all waiting to be installed. I'll need you to install each and every one of these one by one. So let's go ahead and do that. Some of these are quick and some take a bit of time, so be patient. This one takes a bit of time. There we go. Okay, so now all of these plugins have been installed and activated. And if you go to the plugins area, install plugins, you should see all of them there. There they are. The next thing I need you to do is go to plugins and add new. We want to add a new plugin. And by the way, a plugin is basically an add-on feature for your website. So as you saw there are plugins for different things such as a contact form, WooCommerce, which is an e-commerce platform, which you probably won't need. But anyway, there are plugins for a lot of different things. I need you to install or search a new plugin called All-in-One WP Migration. And it's this one here by ServeMask. Just install that one and activate it as well. Okay, now if you click on the link in the description below, there will be a link to something called the demo import, and it is a URL, and I'll show it to you here. It's this URL here. So just click on that, it'll take you to this page. What I need you to do is scroll down and find the cafe demo link. So download that one there. and save that onto your computer somewhere, because we're going to be uploading that somewhere in just a second. Okay, that's all downloaded. Now go back into your WordPress dashboard and go to this all-in-one migration plugin that we just downloaded and click on import. Click on this box here, import from. We want to import from a file, and it will be the file that we just downloaded, the cafe file. So it's this one here, cafe. And wait till that imports, in other words, uploads into your WordPress website. And what it will do is actually import the entire demo and the demo contents immediately into your website. It's pretty cool. You'll see it in a second. Okay, once that's done, you should see this screen here that the import process will overwrite your database and da 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 da. Just click on continue. And you should receive this successful notification. Don't worry about all this, just close that notification. Now if you attempt to go anywhere on your dashboard, so say for example the home dashboard, it will give you a notification that the database requires updating. So we need to do that. Just upgrade your WordPress database. Yep, continue. Okay, that will log you out. Reason being that import process actually replaced the username and password in your login database. So now your new username is admin and your password is also admin. Admin and admin. So type that in and then click login. And it should let you back into your dashboard. First thing to do, go back into the users area, click on all users, go to your username. That import has overridden the email address, contact info, so make sure you change that. Then generate your password and just give it your custom password, whatever you want your password to be. Tick that confirm box and update the profile. And there you go, you've got your login details back to how it was before the import. Dismiss any of these notices. And believe it or not, you're done. So if I now open my website, you'll see it's looking like the Avada theme demo. It basically is the theme demo because we've updated, or sorry, I should say we've imported this entire demo onto your website. So now what we're going to do is start manipulating and changing the way or different panels that you want. Maybe you want some to exist, maybe you don't. We'll do that a little bit later. So just follow me. At the moment, you should be able to see this. If you're having any problems, just get in touch via my website, immediacoach.com, and I'll try and help you out the best that I can. Before you go any further, I'd like you to update some basic settings. Firstly, if you go under the Settings tab and go to General, you'll see that you can update the site title. So you can name that whatever you want, probably your business name or the name of your restaurant or cafe. and just remove the tagline. Next, you'll see here that in these two fields there's no www before your domain. Now this is just a personal preference of mine. I'll show you. So if I go to my website and add www, you'll see that it automatically retracts back to without the www. So what I like to do is just add it in there just before the domain, like I'm doing there, and you need to do it in both fields. Just be careful that you've done that correctly, and then go down and click Save Changes. That will log you out, and that's because that change you just made will automatically trigger you to log out and log back in again. So just log back in. And if you go back under Settings and General, I'd recommend you to update your email address in this field here as well. And then Save Changes. Okay, the next setting I would advise you to do is go to permalinks over here. You'll see by default there is a URL structure that is selected here that will be your domain / the year, month and day that any post is made. And that's not ideal because, for example, say you have a post on your menu, then your menu post will take on this format rather than / menu, which is ideal. So go and select the post name structure. That's ideal because it's easier for search engines to identify what your page is about, and it's also, most importantly, easier for your users. So go and select that post name and just Save Changes. Okay, and that's about it. You'll see that if you go to Pages and All Pages, that there are a few pages that are created by default when you imported your demo. Now I recommend you not to delete them immediately because there's a chance that you'll need them later on, and I'm actually going to use these default pages and adjust and change them so it's much easier to set up the site. So I'd recommend you leave these as is for the time being, and after you're finished then maybe you can delete any pages that you don't want. Okay, so we're only about 25 minutes into this tutorial and your website already looks as awesome as mine does here. So what do we do next? Let me show you a couple of different color schemes that you have to choose from. So if you just go back into your dashboard and go down to Appearance, and you'll see a section for theme options. Now it's completely up to you how you want to set up the site as far as the theme or the color scheme goes. I'll just show you how to do that. So there should be a section in here called Styling. There it is. You can choose from a dark skin or a light skin. So let's check out what the light one looks like. You'll see in just a second. So just by changing that configuration there, if you refresh your website, that's what it now looks like. It's applied a light skin to your website immediately, and you might have to go in and change a few things, but that's a bit later on down the track. So first things first, decide if you want a light skin or a dark skin. Okay, now regardless of what you choose, there are other predefined color schemes which will affect other elements such as the text of your menu, some buttons, and I'll show you that. So if I go back to the dark skin and I choose, say for example, blue, so there you go. As you can see, the color scheme here is now blue, and so is the button, etc., etc. I'm going to stick with the default because I just prefer that, I guess, the brown. Okay. There are other options you can also look at in your own time. I won't go through all of that now, but there are a multitude of things that you can select from. So you can absolutely customize anything that you're looking at, really. It just depends on what you want to achieve. Next, I'll also show you how to change the menu bar location. So that's this bar over here. So right now it's on the left hand side. If you wanted to change the position of that, just go to, in the same section, appearance and theme options, go to header. Let's have a look at the header content options. And this header position over here, left, this is the key. If you select, say, for example, top, and save that, there you go. That's the new layout for your website. So have a play around. It's absolutely your personal preference. It just depends on what you like, I guess. You can choose from top, left, and right. I'll leave it as default for now. So you really can see the power of this theme and the design and how everything is configured in such a way where you can easily make changes when you like. If you have any questions about anything, by the way, just ask me in the comments below and I'll help you out. Next, I'll start showing you how you can manage the homepage of your WordPress website. So the first thing I'll show you is, if you go back into your dashboard, just go down the page and go to settings and reading. Just make sure that the static page is selected and the one selected is home. Now, if you go to pages and all pages, you'll see all the default pages all set up over here. This is where you can access or edit any one of the pages you look at on your website, or you can add new ones whenever you like. But as a first check, just make sure that your home page is set up as your front page. Now, before you start making changes to your home page, there's a precautionary step that I would like you to take, and it's completely optional. You can listen to my advice or you don't have to. That's absolutely your choice. But what I tend to do is, in pages, if you go to all pages, this home page here, if you click on the Fusion Page Builder link over there, every page is set up using a specific layout and template. What this is called the Fusion Page Builder. You can basically drag and drop containers from here onto your page, and I'll show you a bit of that a little bit later, and then add different elements, say for example a Google map or a title or some social links. You can add any one of these modules inside this area here, so it's a nice drag and drop interface. But what this homepage is, it's basically a template that came default when you imported your demo content. So what I would like you to do is actually go to the custom templates and save this layout as a template. Call it something like homepage backup. And the only reason I would advise you to do this is because if you start mucking around with your homepage and you start deleting things and changing things around, and you want to know how to set things up just as they looked before, at least you've got a homepage backup ready to go. So if you ever needed to see, okay, this area here, which corresponds to here, a new way of eating, you've got the pictures and you've got the text and separators in between. Okay, say you needed to know how to set that up. What you could do is just add a new page, just a temporary page. You can now go to your Fusion Page Builder. You can go to Custom Templates, and you can load this homepage backup template exactly how it was when you saved it. And okay, so you can come here. Okay, what I need is a full width container. I need a 2/3 block. I need to add a title. And if you click on the edit button, this is what the text block had in it previously. If I click on this edit button, this is how this is set up. So you've got all that as a reference point in the future if you need it. So that's why I advise you to save your homepage layout as a template. And in the future, any other layout, say for your about page or your menu page. If you want, just go ahead and save each one of these as a template so that you've got them ready on the side if you ever need them in the future. Let me now show you how you can customize and manage this panel you're looking at over here. So back into your WordPress dashboard, how this is set up on each one of your pages. So even if you go to any other page, you'll see a panel with a picture. So the way that is set up is it's actually a slider. So if you go down to the Fusion slider area and click on Add or Edit Sliders, click on the relevant slider. So in this example, Home, you'll see that all of the settings there can be changed. So at the moment, this is actually a full screen slider. So that's checked. If I uncheck that, it will actually take this slider height into consideration. So let's make that say 450 pixels, and let's see what that looks like. There we go. It's not a full screen slider anymore. It's just got a fixed height. So that's up to you. Depends on your taste and what you want. Back into the home slider. I might just keep that checked for now. Parallax scrolling effect. You can remove that, and what will happen is this image won't remain still as you scroll. All these other settings take effect when you add a new slide. I'll show you that now actually. So if I just click update for now. Okay, so now we're still in the slider area. If I go to add or edit slides, I can add new slides, but the way to see which slides are associated with a particular slider, just click on a number beside it. So I'll click on this number 1. There's one slide associated with the home page slider, and it's this one here, and that's the image. So what I'm going to do now, I'll just go back. I'll add a new slide to this area. Let's call it Home Slider 2. And what you can do, I'll actually recommend this to you. If you open the slides in a new tab, so I'll go back to the home page slider, the one that already exists. I'm going to take the exact same settings and put it in the new slider that I create. So image, center, heading area, and this is the logo that appears, this logo over here. I'll show you how to update that in a second. But for now, I'll just copy and paste that in. Okay, heading background, no. Caption background, no. Obviously, you can change all of this if you like. I'm just going to use the default settings, and I'll remove all the button stuff. I don't want a button on there at the moment. This actually allows you to input a clickable button on your home page. So actually, I'll show you that just as an example. View menu, and I'll just take this here, and you can put a URL in there right in between the speech marks, button link. So speech mark, URL, another speech mark. I'll show you that again. So I've just put it right in between those speech marks and pasted whatever URL you want the button to show. Okay, make sure you assign this to the relevant slider, in this case home, and then select a feature image. This is called your media library. So any images that you upload will be stored into your media library, and you can tap into that at any time. You can upload files from your computer. So let me try and upload something. Alright, maybe I'll use this as an example. It will upload into your media library. There we go. And then once that's selected, set featured image. And now publish. So make sure you've done all of that. Just to recap, select the relevant slider, feature image, publish. Now that that's done, and we've added it to the home slider, if I refresh this page, there we go. Obviously we need a bit of careful selection with the image that's being used, but that's the perfect example. We've got the button link over here, and after X number of seconds it will change, and you can manage that back into your sliders. So now I'll go back into the sliders area. So we'll choose the home slider, and these options here, do you want to display navigation arrows left and right, yes or no? The pagination circles, yes or no? Do you want the slides to autoplay? Yes. I want the slides to loop. I want them to slide, not fade. The speed, this is in milliseconds, so, or microseconds. So changing this to 5 means that it will transition every 5 seconds. So I'll update that, and then just refresh my slider. So now let's wait to see what happens. There you go, there's the slide transition. And if you ever wanted to change this image, easily done. You just need to go back into slides and update the featured image. While I'm here, I'll also show you how to update this little logo. So go back into your slides. Now let's take your home slide as an example. It's this area here. So this relates to that image. And if you go to this URL, it's actually that image itself. So I'll just show you what I mean. There we go. So what we need to do now is add a new logo, or I'll show you how you can do that. So if I open the media library, so if you hover over media, I'll just open it in a new tab. Add new. You can drag and drop things from your computer as well. So let me just select. I'll go and find a logo sample, which I've got ready here. So that will upload into your media library. That's all done. So now if you click that, you'll see that each image has a URL associated with it. So just highlight this URL, the entire URL, copy, go back to this section here. Now leave the speech marks intact, just start with the HTTP and end right before the next speech marks. So I'll delete that, and now paste the new URL in there, and then update. Now keep in mind this is only for one slide, so you'll need to do it for the next slide as well, otherwise both slides will have a different logo. So if I go back to my sliders and the home sliders or slides and slider 2. So I just need to paste all of that in here and update. Now I'll just refresh the home page. And there you go, there's our new logo. If you have any questions about that process, please do ask me in the comments below. Now you probably want to know how to edit all of the stuff you're looking at on the pages. So let's start with the home page. How do you edit all of this stuff? How do you change the text? How do you change the images? So if you go back to your dashboard and go to pages, all pages, click on the page you want to edit. In the Fusion Builder area of the site, you'll see that all of these elements correlate to what's showing on your website. So a new way of eating, that's that over here. If I click that edit button, you'll see here a new way of eating is a header 2. This is a header 4. And what you can do, if you like the look of this, you can actually just go in and edit that. I'll get to adding new stuff in the next section of this tutorial. And then save, and then you'll see an update button on the right hand side that updates any changes that you've made to this page. Once you do that, you can reload your website and you'll see the change take effect. There you go. You can also edit existing pictures. So say this chair over here, you want to edit the look of that. Now this section here correlates to this panel over here, the 1/3. So if I click on the edit button, you'll see that if you scroll down, there is a background image. What you need to do is either remove or edit. So what I'll do, I'll edit. I'll actually upload some images that I have on my computer. I'll actually upload them all in one hit so I don't need to upload again. Okay, so once you've selected the image that you want to replace any panel with, just select it from your media library like you saw me do, insert into page, and then save. Similarly, say you want to change this image down here. All you need to do is go down and find what section that relates to. So that is these full width containers, just above new store opened. So that's new store open, it's these ones here. So if I edit that element and then I go down and edit the picture, let's try that, save. Don't forget to publish or update your page. And now refresh the site. Let's check that out. There you go. Obviously the picture I've selected isn't of good quality. It's a bit too small for this particular screen here. So it all depends on the images you choose as well. Okay. So that's a brief overview of how to edit different sections that you already like. So say here, no reservations. And you can edit the text over here. Now this text is white because that's just the color of it. If you ever see that, you're in the visual tab, just go to the text tab. This is the HTML part of the screen, but don't be concerned, just get where the text actually starts to where it ends. That's right there. And don't edit any of the other code, like that right hand side or left hand side indicator. You can delete that and just type in anything you want, and when you've done that you can save, update the page, and that will take effect on the front end. So there's a brief overview of how to edit sections that you already like, so you don't need to do too much work. Now if you want to delete an element, say you don't like these sections over here, so these images and this text here, say you think it's too much mess, you want to get rid of it, and also you want to get rid of this logo here. Just say, for example, all you need to do is go back, find the section that relates to that element. So in this case, it's these panels, and just click the delete button. And then I'll delete the container itself. So now if I go to the page, you'll see that all of that stuff has disappeared. You can do the same for any other panels that you don't like. It's as easy as that. Now, say you really like this section here, call to book, and you want to duplicate that and put a section similar to that under here. What you can easily do, go and find the call to book section, this entire container, and you can press the clone element button. So there we go, we've cloned that. Now drag and drop that to wherever you want that to appear. This can be a little bit fiddly at times. There we go, that worked. So we've done that, we've cloned that element. All the settings have been cloned. So at the moment it will look identical to this. What we want is to change perhaps the image, the text. So let's do that. Save. To change the background image, it's in this full width container, the overarching container. Under the background tab, you can edit and add a new image. So let's say this one here. Now I'll just update this page. There we go. We've added that new panel and it's starting to look really, really cool. So that's one great option of editing any of the pages on your site. Next, I'll show you how to add new elements, an easy way to add new elements. In fact, I don't think anyone else has ever taught this method, so it's a really, really good method for beginners. That's what I've found from the people that I've taught in the past. Next, let's discuss this food and drink area of the site. So you want to be able to edit your menu. Similar to how I've showed you before, we can actually edit what's already there, or we can add new modules if need be. So if I go back into the dashboard and I go to pages and all pages, food and drink, here it is. Okay, so I can see here that this container over here, starters, all relates to this section of the site, as well as main course over here relates to this container over here. So what I can easily do, and I recommend you do as well, if you like the structure of this, then just go in and start editing. So it's the easiest way to do things. So say I'll edit that. And you can edit the description as well if you like. And it's really as easy as that. If you need to add more stuff, what I recommend you do is just clone an existing element. So clone that and clone a separator. And then move it into position, and then of course start editing. There we go, and then start editing. So you can edit the image here like I showed you earlier in this tutorial. That image there relates to this container over here. If you click that edit element button, and so on and so forth. It's really, really simple. Say this drinks area, you don't like that and you want to put it in the same format as all the other areas over here. All you really need to do is say I want it in this color, desserts. All you need to do is come in and then click on this clone element button, because that will clone everything within this box as well as that box itself. Drag it into place and start editing. Then say you don't want these areas down here, it's too much clutter, just get rid of them. So I'll get rid of that whole section there, I'll get rid of that section there, get rid of that. There we are. If you want to change the name of your page, so say you want to call it your menu, just do that. You can also change the hyperlink here, but just keep in mind and then click OK. And you should see that change in your navigation. Actually, your navigation is controlled separately. I'll show you that a little bit later. If you have any questions about arranging your menu page, please do let me know and I will definitely help you out. It's really, really easy. You'll probably want to change the logo over here. To do that, go back into your dashboard and into Appearance and Theme Options. Just click on the logo tab, and all you basically need to do is upload your new logo into your media library and then select it to be your default logo, which will appear over here. There's also an option here where you can upload a Retina version of your logo, which will be, as stated here, it should be exactly twice the size of your main logo. And a Retina logo is great for mobile devices because they have really high quality screens. You can also control the width and the height of the logo. It's completely customizable. It's up to you how you want to set that up and how you want it to look. There are a few other options here, but if you have any questions about that, just let me know and we'll go from there. Next, I'll show you how you can add new pages very easily and maintain the look and feel of the other pages on your site. So for an example, say I want to add a new page that has a similar structure to the About Us page. So I'll add that one, and I want to add another page that has a similar structure to the food and drink page. So maybe a secondary menu, maybe a lunch menu and a dinner menu. So say I want to create two new pages that have similar structure to these two pages. The best way that I advise you to do that is, let's take one for example, let's take the About Us. So I'll go back into the dashboard, I'll go to pages and I'll go to the About Us page. In the Fusion Builder, what I recommend you to do is to add this About Us page as a template. So save it as a custom template. That's just over here, custom template. So I want to save this layout as a template. Okay, so that's done. And similarly, I want to save the other page that I want to make. So I think that was the menu page. as a template as well. Alrighty, so they're now saved. What I can do now is just go to pages, and then I can add a new page. You can add as many new pages as you want on your website. It's unlimited. And let's call this one more information. What I can do is go to the Fusion page builder, go to custom templates, and now I can load one of the templates that I saved. So say I want to load the About Us template into this new page called More Information. Make sure you choose the 100% width as well, and then publish. So now all of a sudden you've got a brand new page that looks pretty much exactly like the About Us page because you've loaded its layout. You can add or edit the slider area over here in the same way I taught you before. Just go to Fusion Slider, you can add a new slider, then add slides to that slider and set all of that up. Go back to the slider section if you're unsure. What you can basically do is now you can edit all of the panels in here, or delete or update the images, etc., to make it look exactly how you want your new page to look. And it's really that simple. It's the same process repeated all over again that I showed you a few minutes back, where you just take existing panels and then update the content within those areas. Very, very straightforward. Same thing, for example, for the food and drink. Say you create another page. You want to add a new page for, say, a dinner menu. All you need to do is, of course, go to the custom templates, load the menu layout, select 100% width, and then you can come in here and then manage the entire page, and it will be in the same structure as the other menu page that you have. So that's absolutely perfect. It's really streamlined, it's efficient, it doesn't waste any time. Next up, I want to show you how to manage this navigation area over here. You can actually customize this any way you want. Back into your dashboard, if you hover over Appearance and then click on Menus, you'll see here that the main menu is already created and assigned as your main navigation. Okay, what you can do is create a new menu, or you can just edit the existing menu. Just so you know what to do if you had to create a new menu, I'll show you that. Okay, create menu. Make sure you select main navigation, then save. Immediately when you load your site, you'll notice that the menu disappears. Reason being, we need to now start adding menu items to this area. So to start with, what you can do is actually just tick any of the pages you want from this list here already available to you. So say you want to add these pages. Add to menu. If you save that, you'll see that the menu now appears, but you probably want to change the order in which they appear. Easily done. All you need to do is drag and drop, as you're seeing here. And that will take effect on the front end. So as you can see, it's a really easy to use, user-friendly interface. Not only can you add existing pages, You can add any custom links that you may have. So say, you can link to absolutely anything from your menu. Just as an example, if you ever want to customize the tab, or sorry, I should say the label of your menu, you can change that here. So you might want to call this, instead of menu, food and beverages. Okay. You may want to call this one something else. Or you may want to just delete something, and what you can do is just click on that arrow and click on remove, and that will get rid of that from the menu. So there we go. So that's a really easy to use feature of WordPress itself, and that's one of the things that makes WordPress so popular. Next, I'll demonstrate how to edit this footer area over here, including the social icons. So if you go back in the dashboard and in the theme options, you'll see an area called footer just over here. You can check this box if you want the footer to be 100% width. You can add a parallax effect if you like, but that won't really look too good, to be honest. You can change the number of columns in the footer, and at the moment there's only one column because it sort of looks good with this theme, but you can change it to have 3 different columns, and you can manage that in the widget sections. So that's footer widget 1, but you'd be able to manage it there. I'm going to leave that as is. What I need to do is edit this copyright area. So if you scroll down, you'll see this footer and copyright area notifications or options. You can check or uncheck this box to display what's in this field here. So if you want to display a copyright, you can actually edit all of this stuff here. And then go down and click save. There we go. Or you can remove that entirely. You also probably want to manage these social icons here. You can manage the look and feel of them using these settings here, but to manage which social icons actually appear, here it is, social media. If you enter anything in these fields here, and I'll just demonstrate. And for purposes of an example, I'm not going to bother putting all the different URLs, but for whatever fields you enter your social media, it appears in 2 different places, this area here and this area here. So if you want to get rid of any, just simply remove the URL to your social media page and it will only show those particular pages. It's as easy as that to manage your footer and your social media. Any questions, give me a yell. Last but not least, I want to add a contact us page on our site. Now we've already got one page on the site called locations, so I'm going to use that as a base. So if you go to locations, before moving any further, I really recommend you save this one as a custom template or custom layout. Just in case something stuffs up, then you've got something to refer back to. So locations, layout. Okay, we're all good. Now this is what the page currently looks like. As you can see, there's a massive map with all the locations, and there are a few images and a bunch of locations down here. Now I want to edit this and simplify it so that it's much more, I think this is a bit messy. So it really depends on how many locations you have. You may just have one, and that's absolutely fine. What you can do, let's start with the Google Map. Let's click on the Edit Element tab. I'll leave everything just about the same. If you go down, you'll notice that the overlay color is very dark. I'll select a lighter color. Okay. This custom marker are these circles. It's a custom location marker, so leave that as it is if you like it. Address. Now here is where you would put your real business address. Obviously, as an example, we're just using generic addresses here, but I would recommend you to put your real cafe or restaurant address here. So let's say, for example, New York. Follow it up with a pipe symbol, which is Shift and the key under backspace on my keyboard, so it's that vertical line. Let's say Chicago, and let's just try Tampa Bay. Okay, let's save that. There we are. So when a user clicks on any of these, they would see your address pop up. And this is a dynamic Google Map. You can actually move this, zoom it in, out. It's pretty cool. Next, locations. I want to get rid of this panel. It doesn't really serve a purpose, so that relates to this area here. But I don't want to get rid of these because they might come in handy. So what I can do is just get rid of the location stuff. That whole container. Next, maybe you don't need so many locations. Maybe you just have one location. What you can do, I'll give you an example. Let's say I delete a few of these. I click the plus button and make it a full width. Okay. Update. So what I've done here is two examples. One, if you've got multiple locations, and secondly, if you've just got one location. There we are. Obviously, if you wanted to put some text in, that would be full width. If you wanted to edit any of that, you just come in here and click on one of the edit buttons, and you can edit all of that information right in that area there. There we go. Okay. Next, I don't want this logo, so I'll get rid of that. And also, the rest of it looks pretty good. Obviously, you would update all of your details. And here we are. We've got a much simpler page, a much simpler layout that's more user-friendly, and people can find and contact you very, very easily. If there's spacing that you want to get rid of, perhaps get rid of this separator. you can just muck around with the separators and the margins within all of the settings inside each element, and that will get you a layout that you're happy with. And that's all. As you can see, there's quite a lot of space here in between these two elements. There's too much space, so I'll quickly show you how to edit that. So it's between this block here and the next block. So what I'll do, I'll go to Edit, Design, and here we go, the padding. 130 pixels at the moment. Maybe I'll try 20 pixels. Let's see how that goes. Yep, so that's better. That's changed the padding underneath. Now I'll need to change this padding over here. So if I go to this container and edit, I should be able to. Yep. Okay, so let's keep that as 20. Well, let's keep it as, yeah, 20 should do. There we are. That's a lot nicer. That's how to set up a contact page on your website. Looks professional, doesn't it? If you want to add the contact page to your menu over here, it's as easy as going back into the appearance and menus section, adding that page that you just created, and then saving, or perhaps label it something different. If you have any questions about that, please do ask me in the comments below and I'll be more than happy to help. So there you go. I've shown you how to make a WordPress website using the Avada theme for your restaurant or cafe, and it's lasted less than 2 hours. And to be honest, now you've got all the tools you need to set this up in any way you want. I would really appreciate it if you could give this YouTube video a thumbs up and share it on social media as well. Subscribe to my channel. I'll be putting out more stuff in the future. Ask me any questions you have in the comments below and I will do my best to help as many of you out as I can.